Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Jai Ho. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So, how many of you have read Bhagavad Gita before? Just raise your hands. Just 1 person, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's okay. You have read Bhagavad Gita. How many? Even one chapter or, okay, so quite few. How many of you have you read the Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrita? Raise your hands. Hanji? Reading it now. Thank you, Gupta ji. Yeah. So I see only few hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rest of you, if you have not read, I strongly recommend, please read Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrita. And that is the book of the month. I'll bring it next week, so the set will be here. And you can reach out to Vishnuchit Prabhu. He is our coordinator, because every week on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock, we are conducting those classes. If you don't know Srila Prabhupada, you won't be able to understand his mood, whatever he has written in the purports, explaining all these shlokas. Okay? So it is very, very important that we read, and because of Srila Prabhupada, we are sitting here. And we celebrate the first day of the new year as a Srila Prabhupada Day. So that day is dedicated to him. And that's why we are starting this campaign this month. If you don't have it, please reach out to me. And I'm telling you, once you get Srila Prabhupada's blessing, even understanding Bhagavad Gita is very, very easy. So with that, we will start the... so today we'll be reading verses 33 to 35. But because some of you were not here last week, and I just want to go back and then summarize those few verses before it, okay? So verse number 27, it goes like this, Ahankara vimud atma karta aham iti manyate. So that is the point that we have to understand. There are persons with, a person working with material consciousness and a person who is working with the Krishna consciousness. So there is a difference, and the difference is in their perspective. So person with material consciousness, that person is convinced by the false ego that he is the doer. On the other hand, and the other thing is he also takes credit of whatever he is doing. Okay? So he is working independently. He takes the full credit. On the other hand, a person with Krishna consciousness, His mood is, whatever I'm doing for the satisfaction of Krishna. And then he gives credit to Krishna for everything. So that's verse number 27. Verse number 28. There is a difference between work in devotion and work for the fruitive results. Do we all understand what's the difference? Working in devotion and working for the fruitive results. So work in devotion is we dovetail all activities to Krishna, and we consider ourselves as the part and parcel of Krishna. And then we understand that we don't belong here in this material world. Somehow or the other, we got entrapped here. And Krishna has created this material world for us because we desire to enjoy independent of Krishna. So that is the perspective, that is the work in devotion. Now work in for the fruitive results. The person who is working for the fruitive results is trying to satisfying their own senses to the fullest. Okay? And their only goal is to enjoy. And what they get at the end of their life? The cycle of birth and death. So there is a clear differentiation between somebody who is working for the fruitive results and somebody who is working in devotion. So that is explained in verse number 28. Verse number 29. It is mentioned that wise people, they should not disturb that are involved in the material activities. So if someone is involved in the material activities, we should not disturb those people saying, okay, Prabhu, whatever you are doing is not the right thing. No, that's not the approach. Even Srila Prabhupada says, if you have to do anything, do it. If you are professionally aspiring for anything, do it. Whatever you want to become in your life, do it, but keep Krishna at the center. That is our philosophy. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, Lord Krishna advises not to disturb such person who are working on the material platform. And you should not simplify or simply waste your time as well. But guess what? When Srila Prabhupada came to West at a very advanced age, what he did? He gave this love of Krishna freely without looking at the qualification of the North American people. He gave this holy name to the people who were taking the LSD, basically the drugs. He didn't distinguish them. So just imagine the perspective of Srila Prabhupada. He did not differentiate. But the main thing is he never compromised with his preaching. That's the main thing. He never compromised with his preaching. If he has to be strict, he was strict. Okay? Then verse number 30. And this is a very important verse. Jagannath Mishra Prabhuji, when he gave the class last week, he mentioned one thing about this verse. Anybody remembers it? What was the point he mentioned strongly? Thank you, Prabhu. Samir Prabhu pays attention. So he strongly recommends, and in the purport, the first line that Srila Prabhupada mentioned is, this is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. And let me tell you the points. Surrender all work unto Krishna, that's one thing. With full knowledge of Krishna, without desires for profit, with no claims to proprietorship whatsoever, and free from lethargy. So what does that mean is, Lord Krishna says in the following chapters, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapsam Sarva Lok Maheshwaram Suhad Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati. So that's the main message from Lord Krishna, that I am the proprietor of everything. So again, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, and further it is mentioned with full knowledge of Krishna. So what is that? There is a famous verse. Janma karma cha me divyam yovit viti tatvata tyaktva deham punra janma naiti mameti so Arjuna. So if you, Lord Krishna is saying, if you know about my birth, all my activities, at the end of your life, when you leave this body, you will come back to me. You don't go anywhere else. So that is you are working with full knowledge of Krishna. And the other verse I mentioned to is surrendering everything to Krishna. So verse number 30 tells you about the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? Coming to verse number 31. Following Krishna's teachings without envy. So oftentimes we see that people, they have some kind of envy, jealousy towards others, which is a very bad thing. In fact, there is in a chapter 7, 27 verse, it's a very important verse. Lord Krishna says, Ichha dvesha samuthena dvanda mohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sargayanti parantap. All living entities, they are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. So whatever is happening in this material world, desire, hate, desire, hate. We desire for something, material thing, and we make efforts. Whether it is in a passion or ignorance, but we start making efforts. That's desire. We hate somebody, we don't like that person, we just start fighting. So that is a hate. Desire and hate. Because of desire and hate, because we have the desires, material desires, we took birth in this material world. So we are here. We hate someone, but we get entangled in this world. And then we have to come again back and forth, back and forth. When we become devotees, then we love each other. We want to spread the name of the Krishna. And as I mentioned in the previous verse, even though Lord Krishna says that you should not disturb the people who are engaged in the material activities, but Srila Prabhupada went even beyond. He gave that name freely to everyone, even if they were not qualified in North America, the people, but still he gave it. Then verse number 32. Out of envy, don't follow Krishna's teachings regularly. It's a very important word, regularly. So, then it is mentioned, those people, then they are bereft of knowledge, they are befooled, and they are ruined in endeavors for perfection. In fact, 7:15, there is a verse, Lord Krishna says, Namam dushkritna mura prabhadante naradhama maya pahata jnana asrim bhavam ashrita. So the essence of all these verses is that we should make very sincere efforts to understand what are the teachings from Bhagavad Gita, what Lord Krishna is trying to say, and what Srila Prabhupada is teaching us in the purports. Because this will make our life perfect. So with that, now I'll proceed to verse number 33. And I request from Mataji's side, someone read the verse, translation, and then the purport, please. No, Mataji? Sorry.
ज्ञानवन् अपि प्रकृतिं यन्ति भूतानि निग्रह किं करिष्यति. Even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows the nature he has acquired from the three modes. What can repression accomplish? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Unless one is situated on the transcendental platform of Krishna consciousness, he cannot get free from the influence of the modes of material nature. As it is confirmed by the Lord in the 7th chapter, 7.14, therefore, even for the most highly educated person on the mundane plane, it is impossible to get out of the entanglement of Maya, simply by theoretical knowledge or by separating the soul from the body. There are many so-called spiritualists who outwardly pose as advanced in the science, but inwardly or privately are completely under particular modes of nature, which they are unable to surpass. Academically, one may be very learned, but because of his long association with material nature, he is in bondage. Krishna consciousness helps one to get out of the material entanglement, even though one may be engaged in his prescribed duties in terms of material existence. Therefore, without being fully in Krishna consciousness, one should not give up his occupational duties. No one should suddenly give up his prescribed duties and become a so-called yogi or transcendentalist artificially. It is better to be situated in one's position and to try to attain Krishna consciousness under superior training. Thus, one may be freed from the clutches of Krishna's Maya.
Thank you, Mother. So the main points to understand from this verse, and we will focus is on the three modes, repression and one's nature. So as it is mentioned, based on one's nature, even in knowledge, a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature. And we get particular nature based on the association, according to the modes of nature, either goodness, passion, or ignorance. So having said that, repression. So this word repression means nigraha. Okay? Indriya nigraha. You heard this word, Indriya nigraha? If your senses want to enjoy certain things, but you restrain your senses. So you nigraha basically those senses. But artificially, if you want to do it, it's not possible. So the only scope in the purpose, Srila Prabhupada is saying that Krishna consciousness is the way. Because why? Even if we are living in this material world, but we are keeping Krishna at the center of the activities. And Krishna is who? He is the Rishikesha. He is the master of the senses. So all the activities, if you see in Krishna consciousness, whether it is prasadam, whether it is book distribution, whether it is chanting, whether it is regulatory principles, they are all geared towards making us perfect in this life. So consider a situation. Somebody makes a vow. You know, like we have so special months, we have so many fastings. Somebody makes a vow that maybe for the next 20, 30 days, I won't be eating a gulab jamun. That person has now taken a vow. It is an austerity. But what happens after first day is gone? Okay. He represses the urge to eat. 1 week is gone, still okay. But by the time the 10th day come, 14th day come, he is contemplating. Okay, so maybe worse come worse, he might break it. So that determination is not there. Because he's not able to stop the urge to eat. Because the senses are thinking about that thing. And you take any other thing in your life, if your senses are focused on something, you start contemplating. And in the previous chapters we read, once you start associating with those senses, you think about the sense objects, and if you are not able to fulfill your desires, what will happen? Then the anger arises. With the anger, then delusion, and then you get like bewildered, and then you're just lost. So that is the process. Now these modes are very, very important. But Lord Krishna says, Davihi esha gunmaye mam maya duratya, mamevya prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Without going to Krishna, but if you start repressing your senses, you won't be able to succeed. You need some external power. You need some external support. You need some external guidance. So guidance is provided through Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So Krishna is helping through these ways. Otherwise, there is no way. And with his blessings, only you are able to surpass these three modes. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that there are spiritualists who outwardly pose as advanced. So if you go to India, there are so many Babajis. Now, it's not even restrained to India. Internationally, even so many sadhus, Babajis. They pose as if they have some spiritual power. But we should not be naive. We should test all these people. Definitely they have some kind of a power. So if we are logically thinking, then we can verify. Because they should have some kind of a qualification to be called as a guru. Okay? So Srila Prabhupada is saying that outwardly they might be showing they are very advanced, but inwardly they are under the influence of Maya. So the point is, what we preach, we should practice it. So that is the first thing. Without practicing, you cannot preach anything. Then there is a story of Karna. Everybody knows about Karna? Who's a Karna? From Mahabharata? Okay, some of you don't know, okay? So Karna was a Kshatriya, and he had enmity against Arjuna. His foremost objective was, I have to kill Arjuna no matter what. This is when he doesn't know about the background that he is their elder brother. So he went to Lord Parshuram, and we know like Lord Parshuram, he is against the Kshatriyas. He killed Kshatriyas many, many times because of XYZ reasons. Now, he was teaching the archery, but his condition was he will teach the archery only to the Brahmins, not to the Kshatriyas. And Karna is what? He was a Kshatriya. So Karna approached him, but he disguised himself that I am a Brahman. So Parshuram started giving him the knowledge. So the time passed by, so he is very perfect. One day Parshuram was sleeping, and he was sleeping in the lap of Karna. So that time a scorpion came, started biting Karna. Karna being a Kshatriya, he can restrain the urge to kill or to move, right? So he was bearing all the pain so that he should not disturb the Guru. So after a while, when the Guru woke up, he saw there was a lot of blood. And immediately he realized that Karna is not a Brahman, he is a Kshatriya. So he cursed Karna that whenever there is a time that you have to make use of this knowledge, you will just forget about it. That was the curse. So Karna started, he tried to repress the urge. He disguised himself. So the point is, somehow the other, if you repress your senses, they are not going to work. Somehow the other, you will show your true colors. So the Krishna consciousness, it trains you throughout your life. If somebody says that towards the end of my life, which is the thought process oftentimes in people's mind, khao piyo ash karo. You just eat, drink, marry, and then leave everything when you get old, and then do your spiritual life start at that time, which is very, very late. So it's not going to work. Sorry. If you have to start, now is the right time. You just saw today that little Kavya, that girl, I think she's 5 years old? 4 years old. Prahlad Maharaj, 5 years old. He said the bhakti starts at 5 years. So this is so true. 4-year-old kid, she memorized all the Narasimha Bhagavan Aarti, right? She sang so beautifully. How it is possible? Blessing of Krishna, blessing of the parents. Otherwise, it's not possible. But we have to give this opportunity to the kids. So with that, Srila Prabhupada is further saying in this verse, without being fully in Krishna consciousness, one should not give up one's occupational duties and become a yogi. It's very, very important. Sometimes we hear people, oh, I'll become a yogi. I'll give up this material life and I'll go to the Himalayas to some other sacred place and I'll live my life. No, it's not going to work. You can live there for a week, a month, a year, but afterwards you'll come back. Why? Because the modes are very, very strong. Whatever modes you are living in, they will push you to come back. So with that, we'll move to verse number 34 now. So from Prabhuji's side, verse number 34, please. Sure, Gupta ji. Thank you, Gupta ji. So this verse is very, very important. In fact, whenever I say every verse is important, okay? So pardon me, because all the verses are very, very important. But if someone wants to know more about the Krishna consciousness, this verse is important. And when you read the purport by Srila Prabhupada, he is very, very blunt. And he gives the message not only to the materialistic, but even to the devotees. So in this verse, there is a message to the devotees as well. There is an allowance, but use it very discreetly. So let's try to understand. So Lord Krishna is saying, regulated attachment and aversion, talking about senses and their objects, and a path of self-realization. Okay, so these are the three main things that we have to understand from this verse. In Krishna consciousness, people, they are naturally reluctant to engagement in the material sense gratification. How? Because Srila Prabhupada gave us the 4 regulative principles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody knows, right? With 4 regulative principles, what happens? These bring us to the platform of humanity. We become humans with those. Once we follow those 4 regulative principles, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit relationship, and no gambling. Then we become the human. Then we do the 16 rounds. Now, when we do the 16 rounds, we are associating with whom? Krishna, Harinam Prabhu. We are associating with Harinam Prabhu. When we are associating with someone who is already transcendental, so then it takes us from human platform to the transcendental platform. So that is the power of the Krishna consciousness. Along with the rules and regulations, along with your chanting, along with your spiritual activities that you do, it will do wonder for you. On the other hand, with the material consciousness, what happens? Because there is no sense control, and the people, they try to satisfy their senses to the fullest. And we know, so oftentimes even for the devotees it's troublesome. Sometimes prasadam is so delicious that we overeat. But the laws of the nature are very, very strong. Doesn't matter material or spiritual person, they eat too much, but the tummy has a capacity, so it will create a problem. Okay? The point is, if we overuse our senses, somehow or the other we will get the bad impact. Okay? So that's why Srila Prabhupada is saying even the devotees, they have the allowance. So he mentioned about the sex life. Even though it is allowed with the wife, but still the person has to be very careful, because you can go astray. Now let's further talk about the things. Srila Prabhupada is saying sex enjoyment as a necessity for conditioned soul. Why? Because birth after birth, we have been doing this. So let's say in the previous birth, we were a bird. As a bird, we have a family. We were doing this. Then we took the birth as another animal, a lion or elephant or whatever it is. Then still we were doing the same thing. We don't have the discretion to know about Krishna, to inquire about Krishna in those stages. Then because of the 8.4 million species, Krishna gave us the opportunity. Now you become a human being. Now we became a human being, but what happens then? We get entangled in this material world. We grow up, we study. Now we have to have a job, because without money, we cannot live comfortably. Then we need honey, because that is the next step, money and honey. So you get married. With the honey, money, what happens in your life? Then the kids come into your life. With the kids, when they mumble jumble, then we get so happy. Then this is the small world that we live in. Then what happens further? If by chance we are fortunate, then we come into association with the devotee or representative of Krishna, which is a guru. Or we come across some kind of a book distribution, which we do. And then we get a book. Maybe it is a Bhagavad Gita, or maybe it's something which is, so many books written by Prabhupada ji, right? So the point is, because of those animal propensities, we are conditioned life after life, life after life, life after life. Okay? And sex enjoyment is something which binds us to this material world. We have to understand this thing. Now with those propensities, it is very difficult to get away from all these things. But Krishna consciousness is the way Srila Prabhupada made this process so easy. Even if we are living in household life, we can surpass all these troubles. Now, Srila Prabhupada went to North America. And as you know, many of his disciples, they were young boys and girls. Now they come to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, we want to get we want to get the initiation. We want to become your disciple. What was Srila Prabhupada's first comment to them? What he would say? Thank you, Prabhuji. So if you don't know the Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrita, you won't understand all these things. So that's why I stressed, please meet me after the class, and you will get know all these things. So Srila Prabhupada, first condition, definitely you become my disciple. If you are a boyfriend and girlfriend, the first thing that you have to do is you should get married. Okay, so he never made that compromise. They get married, he became them his disciples, and then you continue. So within Krishna consciousness, further it is mentioned that we are allowed to have relationship with our wife to give birth to the Krishna conscious childs. That is the biggest responsibility, of course, within KC families, but even in the material world. If we cannot deliver our kids, we have no right to give birth. That is written in our Shastras. So we have to tell them how to get out of this material world. But a blind man cannot lead a blind person, or blind man following a blind person will go enter into the ditch. So the point is, if the parents themselves, they are engrossed in the material life, how can they deliver the kids? So Srila Prabhupada gave us this platform. And Srila Prabhupada says, even though this allowance is there, one should be very, very careful. Why? Because the practice of sense gratification under regulations may also lead us to go astray. So that is a very important point to take from this verse. Because why? Even the safest roads, doesn't matter how safe the car that we are driving, how good driver we are, but we don't know what will happen with the other drivers. They might hit us. So within Krishna consciousness, I'll share with you the progression, how the things happen. They are based on my personal experiences, based on what I have seen the senior Vaishnavas in their lives. So first, as I mentioned, it brings us to the human platform when we follow the regulatory principles 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then regulated sense control is there, and with chanting, we are progressing on the transcendental path. Then third, there is no need for the sense repression, but we have to mold them to serve whom? To the master of the senses, and Krishna will take care. The example is of Maharaj Ambrish. And if you want to further understand about the science of the self-control or realization, then in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, chapter number 7, there are verses 33 through 35. They talk about the 25 gurus. Anybody has read the Srimad Bhagavatam about 24 gurus? No. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Jagannath Krishna Prabhuji, Radhika. Anybody else know about what are those 25 gurus, 24 gurus? Yeah, Prabhuji, let them talk. Anybody knows about those 24 gurus? No? So that means that's the another one you have to read, Srimad Bhagavatam. So once you read Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, once we are done with Bhagavad Gita, the next step is Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Prabhuji, yeah, please. So 24 gurus, yeah. Hanji? Yeah. Even earth is there, prostitute there. So Prabhuji is saying honeybee is there, example of a honeybee. So from honeybee, what we should learn? So this is about all science of self-realization. That is the third thing that was mentioned in the verse. That's what I'm sharing with you. So from honeybee, because honeybee goes from each flower, collecting what? The nectar. So the likewise, if we get the good things from different places, we should absorb those things from different scriptures, from different books. That's why I'm telling you to read all these books. You will absorb different things, the good things from them. Then the example of the fish is there. We have to learn how to control our tongue. Tongue is our biggest enemy. Okay? The fish, the story of the fish, because of the eating propensity, she gets entangled, okay, with the hook. Then So the point is, if you get time, Canto 11, chapter 7, verse number 33 to 35. And most of you, I know you have the Srimad Bhagavatam at your home. So with that, we will proceed to verse number 35 now. So from Mataji's side, Canto 11, chapter 7, verses 30 to 35 tell you just the basic 24 gurus. Then you start reading the following verses, which explains further. What should we learn from earth? What we should learn from the fire? What we should learn from a Pingla story, which is a prostitute. Likewise, okay? Yeah. So from Mataji's side, verse number 35, please. Yes, sure. Thank you, Mother. So the words, they are very important. Swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhyavaha. Swadharme, what is my duty? Nidhanam, sometimes if we get time, we should also read the meaning, because the meanings, they clarify a lot many things. So nidhanam, destruction. Shreya, better. Paradharma, duties prescribed for the others. Bhyavaha, dangerous. So Lord Krishna is saying it is better to discharge one's duties, even though faultily done, than another's duty. And following another's path of duty is dangerous. So now let's try to understand what Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport. So there are material duties which are based on the psychophysical condition. So psychophysical word is a combination of two parts, psycho and physical. Psycho means mind, and physical is basically the body. So mind and body, based on the mind and body, and based on the modes of nature, then we are doing certain activities. So for example, if somebody is an engineer, so his mind setup is like that, very technical, and that person is performing the duty of an engineer. On the other hand, a doctor, more advanced in terms of compassion. Okay? And then there is a soldier, basically a Kshatriya style, he can fight. So if you tell a Kshatriya to do the duty of an engineer or tell engineer to perform the duty of a doctor, is it doable? Because by their nature, they are not tuned for that. So what happens is, as you can see from your example, over the years, because of these modes that you have acquired since birth, how you progressed in your life, you ended up doing a particular occupation. And that's why Lord Krishna is saying that swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhyavha. It's always better to follow your instinct, what you are expert at. Do it perfectly. Even if you fail, still it is better for you. Now further trying to understand another aspect Srila Prabhupada mentioned about the spiritual duties. So the spiritual duties, they are ordered by the Guru. Material duties, they are ordered by what? I just explained. Let's see who is hearing it. Yeah, but I explained one word. Psychophysical. Psychophysical. They are basically responsible for your material activities. Whereas the spiritual duties, as Srila Prabhupada says, they are ordered by the spiritual master for transcendental service of Krishna, not influenced by the modes of nature. Again, that doesn't mean you're not using your mind, but you're using mind for whom? For the service of Krishna. You're using your physical body to do what? To serve Krishna. So long story short, we come to the temple, so many people, we have different activities, so physically we are contributing to it. So even though we're working on a psychophysical platform, but still it is not a psychophysical platform. It is what? It is a transcendental platform. Because we are doing for the pleasure of Krishna. We are doing for the pleasure of devotees. So everybody understands the point? Yeah? Now, further it is mentioned, a Brahmana cannot do the duty of a Kshatriya cannot perform the duty of a Brahmana. Why? Because what are the characteristics of a Brahmana? Non-violence, compassion, knowledge. Whereas a Kshatriya is very aggressive, he wants to fight. So, for a Kshatriya, it's better to die in the battlefield fighting than to imitate a Brahmana who follows the principles of non-violence. Now, if you recall, in the previous chapters, when we hear the discussion between Krishna and Arjuna, in one of the verse, I think it is chapter 2, verse number 5, Arjuna told Krishna that he don't want to kill the Kauravas. And what he said? He would rather live by begging than killing his relatives, 2.7. So Arjuna was confused about his duty. And now in this verse, what Lord Krishna is saying? Swadharmo nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhyavaha. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, look, you are a Kshatriya. Your duty is to fight. You cannot act as a Brahmana. You cannot take a sannyas, live begging, and then it's okay. This world situation is not going to be better if you do like that. Okay? So similarly, for a realized soul, one can perform anything and everything under the direction of a spiritual master. That's another point Srila Prabhupada has mentioned. A realized soul. And who is a realized soul? Our gurus, the spiritual masters. Why? Why they can do anything at different platforms? Anyone? One can perform anything and everything under the direction of a spiritual master for a realized soul. That is the case, but not for us. Because the objective is transcendental, whatever they are pursuing is transcendental, and the means are transcendental because they have already purified. The whole life they have been doing the Krishna consciousness activities. So they can do. So the examples are given of a Vishwamitra and Parshuram. So Vishwamitra, even though he was a Kshatriya, later on he becomes a Brahmana, and Parshuram, whether he was originally as a Brahmana and later on he acted as a Kshatriya. So I hope the message is clear, so I'm going to conclude my class now. So the 3 points you should take away from this class. One should act according to one's nature, acquired from the 3 modes of nature. And repression of the senses is not going to do good for you. Okay? So kind of the Hatha Yoga or whatever you see in the society, they are not going to help you. One should live a regulated life and ultimately be ready to avoid even the regulated sense enjoyment. And I gave you further, if you want to understand, 11:7:33-35 from Srimad Bhagavatam. And then from the last verse we read, Swadharmo Nidhanam Shreya Paradharmo Bhava. We should remember every time this thing. One should discharge one's duty, even though faultily, then pursue someone else's duty and doing it perfectly. So with that, I'll stop. I'll give you a few minutes for questions. I hope it's not too much. Okay, so if you have any questions, Anji Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, we read in different verses this term conditioned soul. Could you elaborate on what that means? Because one property of the soul is that it cannot acquire anything, it cannot change. So how does it become conditioned?
So if you recall, I try to explain the condition, why we are conditioned. Because life after life, we have been doing the same thing. So let's say you are in the IT field, okay, and you do something. You do first year, you become kind of an expert. Second year, do something, you're kind of an expert. But the third year, it is a second nature for you because you can do like that. So it is your innate nature now, right? Because we have been in this material world, we don't know. There are 8.4 million species. And I gave you the example, you could be a pigeon in one birth, then you become a lion, then you become a cow, and now you become a human being. But in all those life forms, we were doing only the 4 activities: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So become conditioned, because we were living in that condition at that point in time. The next lifetime, it's only your level of consciousness is changing. But you have been doing the same thing. You are conditioned that way. You were living in that condition, in that environment for a long, long time. So that's why even though we become human being and we have got this intelligence, but still because of that conditioning, that thought process, whatever we have been doing in the past, those impressions, they are still with us. As you will hear in the later verses, Lord Krishna says, when the soul leaves the body, along with the body, certain things go. Your impressions, right? In the subtle form, they go. And the example he gave is as if the smell is being carried by the air and it travels from one place to another. So the soul is taking those impressions, all those conditioning, whatever be happening, you are doing and taking it from next life to next life until you come to the stage of a human life. Now, once you come to the human life, still there is a possibility that you will fall down if you don't get the right association, because a man is known by the company that he keeps. So if you don't get the proper association, what will happen? You again do those things. Okay? But once, let's say you by chance, you come into Krishna consciousness, you come across Srila Prabhupada, his teachings. Srila Prabhupada says, definitely, if you want to come to me, there are 4 things. Then it is a strike, boom. What are those 4 regulations? The first thing is no meat eating. Because the compassion, the mercy is gone. The innate nature of a humanity is to have mercy on everyone. Okay? Because as humans, we think we can control everything. So that's the first thing he says. Then what's the next one? Then all these things. As I said, then you are in conditioned state, but now you are coming to your senses. You are trying to realize yourself. So even though we all are conditioned, but then we start on the path of the self-realization. And this is only possible through consciousness, being conscious of what we have been doing for so many lifetimes, and then what we have to do now in this lifetime. If we don't make efforts to mend our ways, what will happen? No issues. Krishna said, either you go up or you go down. Either you go to the higher planetary system, or you go to the low planet system, to the hellish planets, or you stay here on this earth, but you go into this cycle of birth and death. Okay? It's not possible to get out of the conditioned stage, but slowly and slowly through Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, all these directions, it's possible. So conditioning it's a very important word. You will hear from time to time, and try to understand more in that particular verse, in what context Srila Prabhupada is saying, and how he's helping us to understand all these things. So air conditioning, what it does, it conditions the air. It clarifies whatever impurities are there, or it controls the room temperature. You can air condition. So this Krishna consciousness process is a conditioning process, whereby it takes away all the bad impressions. So Srila Prabhupada says, even though you follow the 4 regulatory principles, allowance is there for certain things, just for the relationship with your wife, but not compromise with the other 3. Within your wife, you have that relationship because you have to bear the Krishna conscious childs. But still, you should be very, very careful. That's what I said. This even message is for the devotees as well. So I hope I clarified. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So if there are no more questions, we can stop here. Hare Krishna.
नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नामस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य तारणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna to everybody. I will start with I will say my biggest qualification in my life is, can anybody can guess? What's my qualification? Being a disciple of Srila Prabhupada ji. That's my qualification. I was very young. When I met him, I was 19. Young boy. And by the mercy of my Guru Maharaj, I raised my family to become a Vaishnavas. My wife, my children, they took initiation from His Holiness Shri Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. My wife, my son, my daughter-in-law, everybody. That happened because I was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada ji. Otherwise, that was not possible. So that's my biggest achievement of my life. To being a disciple of Srila Prabhupada ji and raising my family, my kids to become to follow that path. So when I met him, I was very young. I was not serious. A friend of mine, he took me there, So we went to state, I met him, then we came back to Canada. Then again, we went to New Vrindavan in 1972. That day it was Janmashtami. So we went there to celebrate Janmashtami. So, you know what happened the day of festival, when at midnight festival finished, what happened? What everybody think? Oh, thanks God, festival is finished, we will go home and rest because it's late. Because during festival you have to work all day. It's not that, you come to the temple at midnight, there is a festival. You have to do a lot of things during daytime, right? So all of us, we were in New Vrindavan. So everybody was yawning, it was time was close to 1 o'clock. We were waiting, as soon as program finished, we will go and sleep. So we have to get up in the morning, 4 o'clock again. So all of us, we were sitting there, waiting, All of a sudden, Prabhupada said, let's have a kirtan and Krishna Katha. Can you imagine in that age? When we were thinking, as soon as program finished, we will go and have a rest. So I mean to say, he had such a energy, level, he was never tired. He was always going, always, all his life. So he started Krishna Katha from Bhagavad, Kirtan. It went on till I think 3 o'clock, or right after 3. Then he saw everybody was, joining here, there, Then he said, I think all of you are tired. Maybe you want to rest because you have to come back again 4 o'clock to the temple for the Mangala Arti. Because for Prabhupada, Mangala Arti was very important. Like they say, like if you are living in the temple or in the city, if you don't come to the Mangala Arti, you are not following his footsteps. Even I saw in my life, Gopal Krishna Maharaj even. Wherever he was, he used to come to us in Toronto. Okay, he always stayed with us at our home because I was the president of Iskcon Burlington for 25 years. Whenever he will come to Jalandhar, he will do Mangal Arti. All the time. Where he got that? By the mercy of Guru Maharaj, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Even we used to see, because if you want to see the qualification of Srila Prabhupada, you can find through the disciple, how they are performing their duties. So in my lifetime, I got a lot of time to spend with the Vaishnavas. Sure, I came to this country in 70, but most of my life I spent back home in India. Mayapur, Vrindavan, there. So I got association with all the senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada. I think what I got from him, I always say that. I got love for Krishna. I got love for Krishna, believe me. I was 24 when I started reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because due to my Guru Maharaj. Due to him. Otherwise, it was not possible. Young age, even these days, sure, these days a lot of young kids are coming, because a different generation. When we people came, we were struggling. We didn't came with no education. Now kids are coming even from India, they have education. Even they are here, they are educated. We were not educated. We came here when we were young and somebody dropped 10th class, 9th class, then we people came here. So that's why I always say, I was really fortunate to meet my Guru Maharaj. And that's I always say. Like same thing what I'm saying today. We were in Winnipeg because there was the opening of a temple in Winnipeg in August. We were together, me, Bhakti Mark Swami and everybody. Same thing I said there. They told me, that's my education. That Janmashtami night, what I saw, that changed my life. That changed my life. Because he was, see, these days we don't say in that age you are old. Those days, he was looking old and, if you go back that time, But he is full of energy all the time. All the time going. That's why in very short time, he done so much. I don't think so in the future, short future, even long future, we are going to have anybody like him. I don't think so. There were so many disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta Srila Prabhupada, so many, hundreds, right? But he the only one who done wonder. Only Srila Prabhupada. Because I met all the other Vaishnavas also from different sect, like from Gaudiya Math. But whatever Srila Prabhupada done, nobody have done it, nobody. Nobody can think about it. And it's very in short span, not long span, very short span. He done so much. I'm really thankful to him. I met him. Now it's that everything is history now, All we are sitting here due to him. I'm here due to him. Otherwise, what identity we got? Nothing. I'm sitting here on this chair, why? Due to Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, nobody will bother me. I will come and go and have a prasadam and that's it. So that's our identity. We belongs to him. So everybody have attachment to their guru and see, all of us, doesn't matter, we have a disciple of different gurus. But ultimately on the top, whenever it comes, we put Prabhupada's first. Because we are here today due to him. I don't think so we have much time, otherwise I can keep going on, So we have to be within that time frame, because I don't know what time you finish. So maybe in the future I will come again, and have a Kirtan Katha. So, like Prabhu, I like to do Kirtan and Katha together. Some people will do Kirtan maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours straight. I do Kirtan Katha, I will bring it in from Bhagavad, from Gita, and I will keep going as if I have time, you give me 1 hour, 45 minutes. So I mixed Katha and Kirtan together. That's my way of doing Kirtan. Maybe in the future I will come over and do Kirtan here. So I'm really thankful to my Guru Maharaj, believe me. And I spent a lot of time with Gopal Krishna Maharaj. All the Guru Maharaj. Even I think during Janmashtami, during Rath Yatra, Bhakti Ashram Maharaj came too, right? Even he used to stay with us all the time. Weeks and weeks. So why? Due to not I was Devinder Sharma or Devki Nandanda, because I was Devki Nandanda, that's not Devinder Sharma. So I got association of all the senior Vaishnavas. So that was all due to the Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, I was nothing. Thank you. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare. Everyone, please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Nitai Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Everyone please. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. জয় রাধা মাধব রাধা মাধব রাধে জয় জয় রাধা গোপীনাথ রাধা গোপীনাথ রাধে জয় জয় রাধে জয় রাধে জয় রাধে জয় জয় শ্রী রাধে জয় রাধে জয় জয় নৃসিংহদেব জয় প্রহ্লাদ মহারাজ জয় নৃসিংহদেব জয় প্রহ্লাদ মহারাজ জয় নৃসিংহদেব জয় জয় জগন্নাথ জয় জগন্নাথ জয় বলদেব জয় জয় সুভদ্রা জয় জগন্নাথ জয় জগন্নাথ জয় নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ জয় নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ জয় নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ জয় নিতাই গৌরাঙ্গ জয় জয় গৌর নিতাই জয় গৌর নিতাই গৌর নিতাই জয় গৌর নিতাই জয় গৌর নিতাই জয় গৌর নিতাই নিতাই জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল নিতাই গৌর হরি বল নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল নিতাই গৌর হরি বল নিতাই গৌর निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल Hare Krishna. So Prabhus are serving today. Now we'll quickly chant the prasadam prayers. महाप्रसादे गोविंदे महाप्रसादे गोविंदे नमो ब्रह्मणि वैष्णवे नमो वैष्णवे स्वल्प पुण्यव्रतम राजन स्वल्प पुण्यम विश्वास नैव जायते गाना पड़ेगा शरीर विद्याजाल शरीर विद्या जरेन्द्रिय ताहे काल जीवे फेले বিষয় সাগরে তারি মধ্যে জিহ্বাহতি তার মধ্যে nobody is repeating লোভময় সুদূরমতি লোভময় সুদূরমতি তাকে যে তা কঠিনে সংসারে কৃষ্ণ বড় দয়াময় করিবারে জিহ্বা জয় জিহ্বা জয় সপ্রসাদন দিল ভাই সপ্রসাদন দিল ভাই সেই অন্নামৃত পাও এই অন্না শ্রী রাধা কৃষ্ণ গুণ গাও রাধা কৃষ্ণ গুণ গাও প্রেমে বলো শ্রী চৈতন্য নিতাই প্রেমে বলো শ্রী চৈতন্য নিতাই জয় নিমাই জয় নিতাই जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रभु श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद श्रीवासादि गौ हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम जय महाप्रसादम की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि।